Right finger overcome nervous English in the U.S. citizenship interview. Learn to speak with confidence.
Welcome back to Pathway to Citizenship, where we make the U.S. citizenship journey not just understandable, but actually fun. I'm Anne, your host and your friendly citizenship coach. And with me tonight is Mark, my favorite student of the week.
Favorite? That's quite the honor, Anne, though I'm guessing it changes every week.
Guilty as charged, but tonight you've earned it, because we're going to talk about something that worries almost every applicant, the English part of the citizenship test.
Oh boy, you mean the speaking and listening section?
Exactly. Everyone focuses so much on memorizing the civics questions. Who was the first president? When was the Constitution written? That they forget the officer is also listening carefully to how you speak and understand.
Yeah, that's what makes me nervous. I know the answers, but when someone in uniform is asking me in English, my brain just freezes.
That's completely normal. The test is partly psychological. Think of it like driving. You can know the rules, but when the examiner sits beside you, suddenly the car feels like a rocket ship.
Exactly. My tongue becomes a traffic accident.
Then we'll fix that. You see, English speaking for the citizenship test isn't about perfect grammar. It's about clear communication. The officer isn't grading you like an English professor. They just need to see that you understand the questions and can respond meaningfully.
So it's more about showing comprehension and confidence?
Yes. Think of it as a friendly conversation about America. In fact, the speaking and listening test starts before the civics part. When the officer greets you, asks, "How are you today?" That's already part of your test.
No pressure.
But that's the beauty of it. Every word is a chance to show your comfort with English. And the best way to get comfortable is to connect the English words to meaning.
What do you mean?
Take the word freedom. It's not just a vocabulary item. It's a feeling, right? Picture yourself on July 4th, fireworks, people waving flags. That emotion makes the word real. When you speak from that connection, your pronunciation naturally improves because your brain wants to express it.
That's interesting. So emotional memory helps speech memory?
Exactly. Your mouth follows your mind's picture. That's why I tell my students, don't just memorize, the president is the commander-in-chief. Picture the president in a military jacket reviewing the troops. That visual sticks, and when you speak it, you sound confident.
That explains why I remember some answers better when you tell stories.
Stories are magic. They help you think in English instead of translating from your native language. For example, when you hear "we the people," imagine a group of citizens standing together, not the dictionary words. That image gives life to your pronunciation.
I guess that's the secret. The more I feel the language, the less I fear it.
Exactly, Mark. English isn't just something you speak, it's something you live. So, Let's dive deeper into improving your English for the interview itself. The officer will test your listening too. That part is sneaky because it's hidden inside everything else.
Like a test inside a test.
Precisely. When they say, please sit down or sign your name here, they're watching if you understand. So, training your ear is as important as training your tongue.
That's the hard part. Sometimes I understand you because you speak clearly, but at the USCIS office, the officers talk fast.
True, and every officer has a different accent or tone. That's why you need variety in your listening practice. Watch American news, podcasts, or even movies with subtitles. Start with slower ones, like documentaries about U.S. history.
Oh, I watched Liberty's Kids once, an old cartoon about the Revolution. It actually helped me remember that the Declaration of Independence was adopted on July 4th, 1776.
Perfect example. You learned history and English rhythm at the same time. Language is music, Mark. The rhythm of English is stress-based. Some words get the beat, others glide softly.
So like music notes?
Exactly. Take this question, who was the first president? If you speak it flatly, it sounds robotic. But if you follow the natural rhythm, who was the first president? It sounds confident and alive.
That's true. It even feels easier when I say it with rhythm.
That's because your muscles are relaxing. When you stress the right syllables, your pronunciation flows naturally. Try saying, George Washington was the first president.
George Washington was the first president.
That's it. You sound great.
Thanks. But what if I don't understand the question during the test?
Excellent question. The worst mistake you can make is pretending to understand. The best thing is to politely ask, could you please repeat that? Or, I'm sorry, could you say it again? That shows confidence and respect.
So it's okay to ask them to repeat?
Absolutely. Officers are human. They prefer clarity over guessing. Remember, communication is two-way.
That's comforting. I used to think asking meant failure.
Not at all. Think of it like driving again. Asking to repeat is like checking your mirrors. It's how you stay safe.
That's a good metaphor. I'll remember that.
Let's connect this to the civics content. For example, if the officer asks, what is freedom of religion? Don't just say, you can practice any religion or not. Say it like you're explaining it to a friend. It means people can choose their religion or not have one, and that's their right.
That sounds more natural.
Exactly. The officer hears that you understand, not just that you memorized. The goal isn't perfection, it's communication.
I wish more people told me that. Sometimes I worry about my accent.
Let me tell you something, Mark. America loves accents. They're proof that you speak more than one language. Having an accent doesn't mean your English is bad. It means your story is rich.
That's honestly encouraging.
Let me share a story. One of my students, Sophia from Brazil, spoke with a strong accent but always smiled when she talked. During her interview, the officer asked her, "Who is the father of our country?" She said, "George Washington." With so much energy, the officer laughed. She passed easily. It wasn't her accent, it was her confidence.
That's inspiring. I want to be like Sophia.
And you will be. The English test is not a wall, it's a bridge. Each word you speak with belief carries you closer to citizenship.
That's a beautiful way to see it.
Because it's true. The U.S. citizenship test doesn't just ask what you know about America. It asks how you belong in America. And speaking English is one way you show that you're already part of the story.
Right fingers sound natural in your U.S. citizenship interview. English story method and tone practice studio microphone.
Welcome back, everyone. Mark and I are continuing our deep dive into English speaking and listening for the U.S. citizenship test. Last time, we talked about confidence and rhythm. Remember that, Mark?
I do. You said English is like music, and I've been practicing my "Who was the first president?" every morning in the mirror. My neighbors probably think I'm running for office.
That's perfect. Maybe you should. But now we'll go beyond pronunciation and rhythm. Let's talk about sounding natural, because that's what helps you shine in the interview.
I want that. I want the officer to feel like we're having a real conversation, not a test.
Exactly. Think of the officer as a friendly librarian of American stories. They're not trying to catch you. They're helping you tell your version of America's story.
That's a nice way to see it.
So let's focus on intonation and tone. Intonation is the melody of your voice, how it goes up and down. If your tone stays flat, you sound unsure. But if you rise and fall naturally, you sound engaged and confident.
Like when I say, "The president lives in the White House." I can say it flat, or I can lift it up a little. The president lives in the White House.
Exactly. The second version has life. It sounds like you believe what you're saying. Practice that with common test sentences. Try this. We elect a president for 4 years.
We elect a president for 4 years.
Beautiful. Notice how emphasizing the main words, president and years, helps your listener focus. That's how you make English feel alive.
It really changes how I feel when I speak.
Because your brain hears confidence and sends that signal to your body. Here's another trick. Connect your voice to a story. If you're explaining the flag, don't just say, "There are 13 stripes for 13 colonies." Say it with meaning. There are 13 stripes because those were the original colonies, the first families of America.
That makes it sound personal.
And that's what the citizenship test is about, connecting personally. Every answer represents people, history, and values. You're not just reciting, you're sharing what you've learned about your new country.
So, it's okay to sound passionate?
Absolutely. The officer doesn't want a robot. They want a real person. You can even smile while speaking. Smiling lifts your tone and makes your pronunciation clearer.
That's funny. I never thought of smiling as a pronunciation tool.
It is. When you smile, your mouth opens naturally, helping vowels come out cleaner. Try it. Say freedom with a smile.
Freedom.
See, it sounds warmer and stronger. English loves open sounds.
I'll remember that. So smiling, rhythm, tone. It's like performing a song about America.
Exactly, Mark. The interview is your mini concert, and every question is a verse in your song of belonging. Now, let's get into something practical. How to think in English during the test, because that's what keeps you from freezing up.
Oh yes, that's my biggest fear, forgetting everything I studied because I panic.
Then you need what I call the story method. It helps your brain stay calm and active at the same time. Every answer should connect to a story image in your mind. Want to try?
Sure.
Okay, I'll ask a civics question, and instead of just saying the answer, tell me what picture comes to your mind. Ready? Who was the first president?
George Washington, and I picture him standing on a battlefield in his blue coat.
Perfect. That image keeps the answer alive. The next question, what did the Declaration of Independence do?
It announced our independence from Great Britain. I picture a group of men signing a huge piece of paper while fireworks go off outside.
That's a great visual. The stronger your image, the easier it is to speak naturally. Your memory becomes a movie instead of a list of words.
It's like making flashcards for your imagination.
Exactly. And during the interview, when you get nervous, your brain will pull up those pictures automatically. That helps your English flow because your words are attached to images, not fear.
That really makes sense. Sometimes when I forget a word, I can still describe the picture.
And that's a great backup skill. If you forget a specific word, describe it. For example, if you can't remember Congress, say the group that makes federal laws. That shows understanding, and that's what counts.
I like that trick. It takes the pressure off having a perfect memory.
Exactly. Language is flexible. Let's do a mini role play. Pretend I'm the officer.
Oh, here we go.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Can you tell me who is the father of our country?
George Washington.
And who wrote the Declaration of Independence?
Thomas Jefferson.
Very good. What is the rule of law?
It means everyone must follow the law, even the president.
Excellent. Notice how you paused just right before each answer. That pause shows confidence and thoughtfulness.
I was actually just thinking, don't mess this up.
That's fine, but the pause works. It makes your answer sound deliberate, and it gives your mouth time to pronounce clearly. Silence is your friend. It's like punctuation for your speech.
I like that. Sometimes I rush because I want it to be over fast.
Many people do. But remember, officers appreciate clarity over speed. Think of it like baseball. You don't need to swing fast, just accurately.
I'll slow down next time.
Another key tip: mirror English speakers daily. Listen to short clips, maybe the news or even citizenship podcasts, and repeat after them. This shadowing trains your mouth to move naturally in English patterns.
That sounds doable. I could try that while I drive to work.
Exactly. 5 minutes a day builds muscle memory. Soon, when the officer asks, "When do we celebrate Independence Day?" your response will come out automatically, July 4th, with energy and clarity.
That's the dream.
And it's completely achievable. You've already mastered the civics facts from our earlier sessions. Now it's about making your English your ally.
You make it sound almost easy.
It's not about easy, it's about possible. The citizenship test isn't just about passing. It's about transforming how you see yourself as an English speaker and as part of the American story.
That actually gives me chills.
Good. That means it's sinking in. The day you walk into that USCIS office, you're not just answering questions, you're declaring who you are. And your voice, your accent, your stories, they all belong in that room.
Wow. I think I'm finally seeing it not as a test, but as a conversation about identity.
Exactly, Mark. The officer asks about America's history, but what they're really hearing is your future.
That's powerful.
It is, and that's why we keep practicing, not just to pass, but to speak America into being.
Right finger past the U.S. citizenship interview with confidence. Find your American voice, United States.
Welcome back to Pathway to Citizenship. Mark and I are reaching the home stretch of our English and citizenship journey. How are you feeling today, future citizen?
Honestly, Anne, more confident than I've ever been. Though I'm still nervous about that final interview day. What if my mind just goes blank?
Then you do what great speakers and citizens do. You tell a story. Remember our story method? It's your safety net. When you forget the exact phrase, describe the picture behind the answer.
Right. Like if I forget Emancipation Proclamation, I could say, Lincoln freed the slaves during the Civil War.
Exactly. That's communication, and that's what the officer wants to hear. Understanding, not perfection. Let's take it a step further. I call this the story bridge. It's how you connect your life to American history.
My life to American history.
Yes, every citizenship question links to a value that lives in you. Take, what is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? You might say, freedom of speech, but then add a personal thought. That's important to me because in my home country, people couldn't always say what they believed.
That's true for me. I remember my father saying, we had to be careful what we said in public.
See, that's your American story. When you share it, your English becomes powerful because it's personal. The officer feels your sincerity.
So I can express short personal reflections even during the test.
As long as it's relevant and natural, absolutely. It shows depth. Let's try one. Why do we celebrate Independence Day?
Because it's when the United States declared independence from Great Britain on July 4th, 1776, and I think it's about freedom, people choosing their own future.
Perfect. That's not just an answer, that's insight. You're showing understanding beyond memorization.
I like that. It feels less mechanical, more alive.
That's what the test is supposed to be, a living conversation about what America means. Think about the Pledge of Allegiance. It says, with liberty and justice for all. Those words aren't just recited, they're lived. When you speak them, you join that story.
You make it sound poetic, Anne.
Because it is. The English part of the citizenship test isn't just about grammar. It's about finding your voice within that poem called America.
I never thought of it like that. So storytelling isn't just for remembering, it's for belonging.
Exactly, Mark. And you already belong. You're just learning to say it out loud.
Okay, Anne. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Nerves. I get sweaty just thinking about the interview. How do I stop shaking when it's time to speak English?
Great question. Nerves are normal. Every citizen who's ever taken the oath has felt them. The trick isn't to fight your nerves, it's to use them.
Use them, like how?
Think of nerves as electricity. If you control it, it lights up your performance. If you panic, it shocks you. The way to control it is through breathing and mental preparation.
Breathing. I've heard that before.
Yes. Before you speak, take one deep breath, like you're inflating a balloon inside your chest. That single breath slows your heart and clears your brain.
I like that image. So, deep breath, inflate my inner balloon.
Exactly. Then, when you start talking, smile slightly and look at the officer's eyes, not in a staring contest way, but calmly. This shows confidence, even if your knees are shaking.
That's good, because my knees will be shaking.
Mine would too, but here's the secret. The officer doesn't see your nerves as long as your voice stays steady. Speak slower than usual. A slower rhythm shows control and gives your brain time to think.
So even if I'm scared inside, I can sound confident on the outside.
That's right, and soon your body will follow your voice. It's like acting. You pretend calm until it becomes real.
That's kind of what you said earlier about rhythm and smiling. It's physical first, emotional later.
Exactly. You build confidence from the outside in. And remember, the officer isn't trying to fail you. Their job is to confirm that you're ready. They want you to succeed.
That's reassuring.
Let's do a confidence drill. Imagine you're already in the interview. I'll play the officer. You walk in. Ready?
Okay, I'm nervous already.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Lovely start. You sound polite and warm. Now, what is one reason colonists came to America?
For freedom, to have a better life and practice their religion freely.
Excellent. Notice how you used a complete sentence. Officers appreciate full thoughts. It shows you can express yourself naturally.
So even if they only expect a short answer, I can give a complete idea.
Yes, as long as you're clear and concise. For instance, freedom is correct, but for freedom, to choose their religion and start a new life is better. It shows maturity and comprehension.
Got it. Add a little context, not just a single word.
Exactly. That's how you turn a test into a conversation.
This is starting to feel more like storytelling again.
That's because conversation is storytelling, just shorter. And remember, if you stumble on a word, pause, breathe, and restart. That shows professionalism, not weakness.
I love that. You make even mistakes sound noble.
Because they are. Every time you correct yourself, you're demonstrating resilience, one of America's greatest values.
Wow. So even my nervous pauses can be patriotic.
Absolutely. And when you finish, the officer will see not just your English, but your courage. All right, Mark, we've covered pronunciation, storytelling, rhythm, confidence. Now it's time for the final message, what it means to speak as a citizen.
I'm ready.
When you take the citizenship test, it's more than an exam. It's your conversation with history. Every question about the flag, the Constitution, or the Bill of Rights is a doorway to what you're becoming part of.
That's deep. I used to see it as a list to memorize. Now I see faces, moments, ideas.
That's the goal. The English you speak in that room connects you to 250 years of voices. Immigrants, reformers, soldiers, activists. They all spoke this language to build a country that keeps growing.
When you put it like that, it feels like joining a chorus that's been singing for centuries.
Exactly. And your accent adds a new note to that chorus. Remember, every accent in America tells a story of arrival. You don't need to hide yours. You just need to let it shine clearly.
That's beautiful, Anne. You know, when I first started studying, I felt like I was borrowing English. Now it feels like mine.
That's the transformation. You begin as a student of English, but you end as a speaker of America. You'll walk into that room as an applicant and walk out as part of the nation's voice.
I actually got goosebumps.
That's good. Let's do one final role play, your last mock interview before Citizenship Day.
Let's do it.
Good morning, Mr. Mark. Please raise your right hand. Do you promise to tell the truth?
I do.
What is the supreme law of the land?
The Constitution.
Who is the father of our country?
George Washington.
What did Martin Luther King Jr. do?
He fought for civil rights, for equality, for all Americans.
Beautiful answer. Now, tell me in your own words, why do you want to become a U.S. citizen?
Because I believe in freedom, equality, and opportunity. This country gave me a chance to start over, to work, and to dream. I want to give back, to vote, to serve, and to be part of the story.
That's perfect, Mark. And that's what the citizenship journey is all about, giving back through understanding, effort, and voice.
I think I'm finally ready.
You are, and when you pass, and you will, remember that every word you speak from that day on carries weight. You'll be part of the people that started this entire story.
You know, Anne, when I started this journey, English felt like a wall. Now it feels like a bridge, a way to connect who I was with who I'm becoming.
That's exactly the transformation I wanted for you. And that's why I do this show, to remind every future citizen that English isn't a barrier, it's a key. It unlocks belonging.
Thank you, Anne. You've been more than a teacher. You've been a translator of dreams.
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. But remember, it was your courage that did the translating. I just handed you the microphone.
Then I'll keep speaking, not just for myself, but for others still learning.
And that, Mark, is the true sound of citizenship. Not perfect English, but proud English.
Proud English. I love that.
Me too. So, to everyone out there preparing for their U.S. citizenship test, remember, speak with confidence, listen with heart, and let your voice carry the story forward.
And maybe smile while saying freedom.
Always smile when saying freedom. It's the most beautiful word in any language.
Anne, I think I'm ready for my new chapter.
You already started it, Mark, the moment you began believing in your own voice.
Then here's to the next step: citizenship, courage, and clear English.
And to the next citizen who discovers their voice on pathway to citizenship, congratulations in advance, Mark. You've earned it.